So friends, welcome back. Today we shall see the last part of this lesson, globalization, the struggle for a fair globalization. So we said some people are getting the benefit of the globalization while some people are going on struggling even for their basic survival. So how can we have a fair globalization? We said the World TO or WTO, they are trying to dominate the developing countries, trying to impose their rules on others while they themselves are not following the rules. So how can we have a fairness? How can we have a just rules, just means of globalization and so on? Let us see. So the above evidence indicates that not everyone has benefited from globalization, and people with education, skill and wealth have made the best use of the new opportunities. On the other hand, there are many people who have not shared the benefits. So when there is globalization, the people with skill, the people with good education, the people with wealth, we can say, they have made use, they have got the benefits, they could get good salary, they could get good job and so on. But people who are working in the unorganized sector, people who have no proper skill, no proper education, they are not getting the benefits of globalization. They are just surviving hand to mouth. They are in fact working hard overtime with a less wage and so on. And since globalization is now a reality, so we cannot deny globalization has become a reality. People from all over the world are able to do business in other countries, buy things from other country and so on. So the question is how to make globalization more fair. So we cannot stop globalization because it has already become a reality. But what we can ask is how can we make it more fair where everyone is getting the just benefit for their work. Otherwise some are getting high benefits, some are getting very low benefits. So there is no justification. There is no justice done. So how can we make it a fair? Then fair globalization would create opportunities for all and also ensure that the benefits of globalization are shared better. So when there is a fair globalization, what will be the difference? We will make sure that the benefits are shared equally. Now some people are getting very high profit, other people are getting very low profit. So instead of that, there should be some equality and everyone should get the benefit of globalization, because the workers that are working overtime, they should get their just wage. They should not be denied of their wage. They should not be denied of the privileges. Their work, everything that they do, they should be paid well. So otherwise at the expense of the poor workers, others are making profit. So that should not be done. And the government can play a major role in making this possible. So if this has to be made possible, then who has to do the work? The government has to do the work. The government has to make certain rules and so on. They try to follow the WTO directions, and their own workers are suffering. Their own industrialists are being becoming poor and closing down their factory and so on. And it is policies must protect the interests not only of the rich and the powerful, but even all the people in the country. So when government make a policy with regard to industry or with regard to globalization or with regard to multinational corporation, they should make sure that they are protecting the interests of even the poor people, the marginalized, the unorganized sector workers, everyone. Very often government is happy to support rich people, wealthy people, because they will give commission to the government and they are very happy. The poor people cannot give anything, therefore they are abandoned. So that should not be expected from a government. Government should work for the benefit of everyone, for the rich, for the poor. Everyone should get benefit from the policy that government is making. Then you have read about some of the possible steps that government can take. For instance, the government can ensure that labor laws are properly implemented and the workers get their rights. So when government is making a law for the globalization, government used to give very often excuses to the foreign companies that okay, you no need to follow this law, you no need to follow that law, and so on. So when government is making that kind of assumptions, it is the poor people who are suffering. It is the poor people who are affected. Their benefits are taken away. Their salaries are reduced. Their PF is reduced. Their insurance is reduced. So it is at the expense of the poor workers that government is trying to make happy the multinational corporations in order to increase their profit and so on. So government should not do that. Government should work for its citizens and should provide maximum benefit for its citizens. Then it can support small producers to improve their performance till the time they become strong enough to compete. We said when India got independence, the India government took a decision that we will not allow the foreign investment. We will not join the export and import. So because India knew that India is just fresh after independence and its producers and business people are not that strong enough to compete with foreign companies who are already matured, who are already expert in that field. So 40 years India gave time for its workers, its factory workers and industrialists to come up to improve their quality, production and so on. After 40 years only, government allowed others to enter into India for foreign investment and so on. The same way, government has to do something to protect its small industrialists, those who are doing this small scale industry, to protect them, to make them capable of fighting against others or competing with others and so on. So maybe government have to give them loan, maybe government have to give them less interest, direct the bank to give loan to the small industrialists and so on. So from the government side there should be a very good decision has to come, otherwise it is not going to help, or all those small industrialists and producers, they will suffer. Then if necessary, the government can use trade and investment barriers. So if needed, government should create barriers, say no more import on this item or no more import from this country. So government should have that courage to make such kind of laws. They should not be all the time afraid of WTO, what will they say, all that thing. So first and foremost, the duty of the government is to protect the interests of its people, not in the interest of foreign companies. So government has to make the laws and the rules which will support the Indian workers, the Indian producers and so on. It can negotiate at the WTO for fairer rules. So there used to be meeting at WTO. All the member countries used to come and participate. So when such meetings are there, we need to open our mouth and we need to speak. We need to say there should be fairness. Everybody should follow the rule. Not only the poor countries are obeying the rule, but the rich countries also should obey the rule. They are creating WTO in order to get their benefit for them at the expense of the poor country. So we need to question them, we need to discuss with them issues, and we need to bargain with them that there should be fairness. We should not do injustice and so on. And it can also align with other developing countries with a similar interest to fight against the domination of developed countries in the WTO. And also the government can join with other countries, other developing countries, where they are also facing unjust rules of this WTO. So they can also join with them, with other similar countries. So when they join together, they become a force. So they can force this WTO and the developed countries to stop their domination, to stop their playing the big boss, and make them also to obey the rules of the WTO, so that there will be development in the world, not only for the rich country but also even for the poor countries. Then in the past few years, Massive combines and representation by people's organizations have influenced important decisions relating to trade and investments at the WTO. So, in the past few years, massive combines and representations are there by people's organization. So different organization by people, they have been combining against WTO, the injustice that they are doing, the unfairness that they are practicing. There has been a lot of complaint, lot of protest rallies are there. So we need to encourage such kind of mass movement, people's movement, so that there will be equality and justice and so on. Then this has demonstrated that people also can play an important role in the struggle for fair globalization. So it shows, you can see in your own picture, there is a photo how people are protesting, how people are demanding fairness from WTO. So when people and organizations come together to fight against the injustice, what will the government do? Government also should support the movement of the people. They should not just think about only making WTO happy. They should work for their people. They should work for the industry in their own country and should help make rules that are helpful for the people to improve and so on. So that is from the side of the government, such things should be there. Otherwise, the people will continue to suffer. People will become poorer and poorer, and the country also will become poorer and poorer. So it is the justice that needs to be done from the world community, that is from WTO. So that is the point that we can make, that is what we can do and so on. And now let us see in summary what are the things that we have studied so far. Let us just go through the summary, the summing up. So in this chapter we looked at the present phase of globalization, and globalization is the process of rapid integration of countries. So we said, what is globalization? We can say again, it is a rapid integration. Rapid means quickly getting integrated, getting connected or joined together with the world countries. Then this is happening through greater foreign trade and foreign investment. So how does this integration taking place? Integration of the countries or joining of the countries, it is by the foreign trade. When we encourage the foreign trade from one country to another country, the foreign trade, and when we invite the foreign countries or foreign companies to come and invest in our country, making the foreign investment. So when we and get involved in the foreign business investment and exporting, importing, all this, then our industry, our work get integrated, our company, our work should get integrated. And MNCs are playing a major role in the globalization process. So these multinational corporations, they are playing a very major role in globalization. They are the one going to different countries, making investment, starting new industry, new business and so on. That way, many countries are inviting them to enter into their country to start business and so on. And more and more MNCs are looking for locations around the world that are cheaper for their production. And as a result, production is being organized in complex ways. So nowadays, from rich nations or from developed nations, there are so many MNCs are there. They are all looking for a country where the cheap labor is available, where the trade laws are very loose, and they will be able to make maximum profit. So there are so many MNCs are there trying to come to different countries, especially the developing countries. So the government invite them and give them a lot of relaxation in the law and in the country's laws. Trade barriers and all is removed, means they will be very happy to come and invest. And technology, particularly IT, has played a big role in organizing production across the countries. So one thing that has helped the spreading of the globalization, we said it is IT, information technology. So because of the development of the technology, because of the improvement of the technology, we can say it has improved a lot. If this technology was not there, especially internet facility is not there, then the globalization would not have been so fast spreading. It is fast spreading because of the invention, because of the providing of this fast communication through internet and so on. Then, in addition, liberalization of trade and investment has facilitated globalization by removing barriers to trade and investment. At the international level, WTO has put pressure on developing countries to liberalize trade and investment. So we said the WTO is playing a big role in globalization, and but what they are doing is for the benefit of the developed countries, because WTO is set up by the developed countries and they are forcing the developing countries to remove the trade barriers, to make the rules more flexible and so on. So the WTO, we see that they are not doing a fair job. They are not treating everyone equally. The poor countries are suffering and so. Therefore, they have to make a fair rule. They should treat everyone equally. They should follow the rule. They should insist that the developed countries also should follow the same rule like the developing countries. Then only there will be justice, there will be fairness and so on. Then, while globalization has benefited well of consumers and also producers with skill, education and wealth, many small producers and workers have suffered as a result of the rising competition. So we said from the globalization, it is the rich people, the skilled people, the educated people, they are the one benefited from it. They are able to get job in these multinational corporations, and they are able to get good facilities, and they are able to get good products in the markets. So well-off people, rich people can go and buy good things from the market and so on. But on the other hand, the poor people, the people in the rural area, the people who are working in the unorganized sector, they all have got less benefits from it. In fact, they are suffering. They are working very hard and their labor is very less. The payment is very less. They are getting very less salary. So they have less opportunity or less benefit, we can say. So that is how the globalization has affected the world. The rich, the well-to-do people, the educated people, the skilled people, they have benefited, and the unorganized sector workers and the poor people, they have suffered. They are getting bad benefits from this globalization. Then fair globalization would create opportunities for all. So what is our requirement or demand is that there should be fair globalization. Everyone should get the equal benefit, not the rich countries alone, but even the poor countries and the developing countries also should get the benefits. Then, and also ensure that benefits of globalization are shared better. So because of the globalization, there is a lot of benefits are there, and these benefits are going mostly to the rich countries, the developed countries. So we have to make sure that they are going to the poor countries as well. So the WTO has to take a major role, and they have to make sure that WTO stands for the benefit of everyone, not only for the rich countries but also for the poor countries. Then only we can really say that globalization has benefited the people of our country and also other poor countries. So we have come to the end of this lesson, globalization, and this is a present scenario. When you look around, you will see the world is changing faster. More and more things are available in the market. These are all the effects of globalization. We are allowing the foreign things to come into our country and sell it. Therefore, those things are cheaper because they are helped by government, and our government does not help the local producers. Therefore, their cost is high and people are not buying the costly things, they are buying the cheaper things. So let us pray that our government will think better, act better and perform better, so that our country also will be able to benefit from globalization, and our producers, our industrialists also will be able to come up in their life and will be able to stand up against the competition of these multinational corporations and help to provide employment to the people and also help the development of the economy, growth of the economy of our country. Now let's also see, just go through these exercises. So fill in the blanks are there. Just see question number 11. Indian buyers have a greater choice of goods than they did 2 decades back. This is closely associated with the process of dash. And what is the answer? Globalization. Markets in India are selling goods produced in many other countries. This means there is increasing dash with other countries, increasing trade, TRADE. And moreover, the rising number of brands that we see in the markets might be produced by MNCs in India. MNCs are investing in India because of cheaper production costs. Because of cheaper production costs, COSTS costs. While consumers have more choices in the market, the effect of rising demand and purchasing power has meant greater competition among the producers. I hope you all know. Now number 12, match the following. First one, MNCs buy at cheap rates from small producers. What is the answer? Number B, garments, footwear, sports items and so on. Then number 2, quotas and taxes on imports are used to regulate trade. Answer is number E, trade barriers. Number 3, Indian companies who have invested abroad. What is the answer? Number D, Tata Motors, Infosys and Ranbaxy. Then number 4, IT has helped in spreading of production of services. Number C, call centers. Then number 5, several MNCs have invested in setting up factories in India for production. What is the answer? Number A, automobiles. Now number 13, choose the appropriate option. The past 2 decades of globalization has seen rapid movements in number B, goods, services and investments between countries. Then number 2, the most common route for investment by MNCs in countries around the world is to number B, by existing local companies. Then number 3, globalization has led to improvement in living conditions. Number D, none of the above. So these are the answers. So you can see the answers. So read this textbook several times again, at least 2-3 times you must read. Then try to note down the one word answers, objective type answers, questions answers, and try to learn and try to understand the key words of this text and try to study well, memorize well. And I will give you the questions answers, and soon I will send it in the group. You'll be able to write down and send me the photos. I said several times, when you send me the photo, make sure that you write your name on top of every page. So when you write, simply don't write lesson number 4. Write the title also, lesson number 4, globalization. So write like that, and your name also write on your notebook, no problem. Some are writing with a pencil so that they can wipe away afterwards. So write with your pen, no problem, your name, and also the date on which you are writing. All that. Some people are not following it. So study well nicely and wish you all the best. Okay. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Bye bye.